Shalom, shalom, our praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yehoshai Ba'Hashem, Harakah Kwadash, giving double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Rise up to the house of David. Well and truly, the house of David is rising. So let's check out this video. New video raises questions about military encounters with UFOs, and videos are going around on the UAPs, so-called unidentified aerial phenomenon. And we've got a former Christopher Corey Mellon is a private equity investigator, former deputy assistant security of defense for intelligence in the Clinton and George W. Bush administrator, and later for security and information. So he's a high up what they call a credible witness. He's gonna give his little 2 cents. We're going to play the video for you to hear without further ado. And we'll come back, we're going to hit some precepts. So know that we've got our own experiences, you know, the common man, which the prophets are not the common men, but you got common men going in. But then you also have professional people, credible witnesses going in too. Or if you like, whistleblowers. There's a lot of whistleblowers coming out. So let's check it out.
What I have concluded is, first of all, we have a massive intelligence failure on our hands. This has been going on for years, and hundreds of incidents. Nobody in the Congress was informed. Senior officials in the Defense Department were not informed. The intelligence community did not take action to support our military personnel at sea in these carrier battle groups and other locations. So it's extremely disturbing to think that after spending hundreds of billions of dollars for so many years and believing our airspace to be secure, in fact, we've had vehicles operating in restricted military airspace with impunity on a recurring and sustained basis for many years.
Yeah, that's exactly what the pilots have been saying. You know, Congress is supposed to finally be briefed on UFOs next month. How much transparency how transparent should they be with that information? I mean, should Americans get full access to this?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these systems have multiple uses. And so if you disclose some of this information, you would compromise systems that are used in the defense to help detect and prevent nuclear warfare, for example, major strategic systems. So nobody wants to see any edge that we have in that area compromised, because of the impact that could have on security. So the senators behind closed doors, of course, will get a lot more information. They'll get classified information. This report will also be produced at an unclassified level, and we should get a sense of whether there's a serious national security threat, how seriously we need to take this, how concerned should we be, and what the executive branch is going to do about it, and how they're going to organize to tackle this in the future, because they clearly have not been organized or looked at it cohesively in the past.
Do about it. These pilots on 60 Minutes last night described planes doing things that make ours look like toys. I mean, if what they're saying is true, and I have no reason to doubt them, what can we do?
Sure. So first of all, we can overcome our self-inflicted ignorance and start collecting data. And we're talking about multiple different kinds of things, so that what they talked about last night was the extreme case of the Tic Tac. Many of the other incidents are involving vehicles that are moving much more slowly,
Right.
lower altitudes. They may more likely belong to a state actor, China or Russia. Different scenarios. So we may find a range of different issues to contend with.
Christopher Mellon, I'm out of time.
We need to
I
increase
thank you
R&D,
for your time,
collection,
though.
and analysis.
It's tough with these Skype hookups, but I appreciate it. Thank you. To this?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these systems have multiple uses.
So they're worried about their airspace. Let's hear that, and we're going to break it down, hit some precepts.
We've had vehicles operating in restricted military airspace with impunity on a recurring and sustained space to be secure. In fact, we've had vehicles operating in restricted military airspace with impunity.
With impunity in the restricted airspace. That's one of their main concerns. They say they've spent billions to have a secure airspace. without no success, as we're hearing there from this is the former intelligence or former. This is the former Christopher Mellon, a private investigator, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence in the Clinton and George Administrator, Security and Information Operations. So he's a former high intelligence, and they gather intelligence, and they know what there is to know. He would know all what there is to know about any threat to the airspace, to their airspace. So let's hit some precepts, man, because it's nothing. It's not rocket science to us. It's very, very plain and simple. The chariots are the angels, and the angels are coming back for their people. And first of all, let's hit one precept. This gonna be a quick one. And Numbers chapters 13 and start from 16 says, "These are the names of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses called Ashura, the son of Nun, Jehushua. And Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, Get you up this way, southward, and go unto the mountains." So this was on the after camp live stream of the elders and apostles, was going into how the chariots are here, why they're here, because we don't only know what's going on and their return, we know what, when, where, and why. We know why they're here. They're here to spy out the land, and there's many examples we can go into of Joshua spying out lands before they took them, also in Judges, also David. Matter of fact, I can get into that. Abu art. How we used to take lands and spy out lands and overthrow lands. We are a people. We are a special people. It says in Deuteronomy 6 and 7, we're above all the people. So you can't just get away with putting us through these traumatic situations, slavery, the Jim Crow, the alligator bait, and think no one's gonna come, and no one hasn't taken account of that. The angels have taken account of it, and the angels have taken it up to the heavens, to God, what you Christians call God. And God is going to come back to render an account. He has a controversy with these people. And we're up to this day, we're still in your hands. And you have to pay for that. Just what happened in the days of Moses and the Egyptians is coming round again. Yeah, because you're the modern day Egyptians. If you didn't know by now. Because we know you're watching our videos, doing all kinds of folly. So everything you've done, yeah, the scriptures talk about that. Galatians 6 and 7, whatsoever a man soweth, that he should also reap. And we've given you a lot of warning, man, but you're too hard-headed and you don't want to listen. Yeah, Second Maccabees, and here we got an example here. I remember reading this scripture quite long ago. Let's get the dust off it. The elders touched on this one again also. Second Maccabees 10 and 29. Oh, you've tried to interact with them before. You've shot your missiles at them. They've got so many ways of evading your technologies. In one case, you shot a missile at them. You engaged with them. You told one of your pilots to engage one of them, and you shot a missile at one of the chariots. One of your helicopter fighter pilots, jet scramblers, scrambled to try to attempt to engage one chariot, and you shot a missile at it, and the missile just phased through it. Or there's cases where the missile can just phase through it, go right through it, or it can turn the missile back and fire at you, or it can just shut off your defense system, your mechanics, your radar system. There's cases for all the things I'm saying, and probably much more, where you've tried where your missiles or your fighter pilots with the fighter pilot jets, your stealth fighter pilot jets has tried to engage the chariots, the so-called UFOs, and you've always come unstuck. And you're trying to lie to the people that you're saying that you've got UFO technology. You're lying to the people, and you've got so-called aliens, because there is no aliens. They're what you call black people, what you call black people. And there's cases where they've actually came down. There's a case I've done a video earlier on this year where they landed on one of your airport strips. About 400 of them came down. Right. The title of the video is our big brothers are coming back to render judgments upon the rulers of this world. Our big brothers are coming back for us. They are big brothers. They're not aliens. They landed on the airport strip, and they came with their big weapons, standing there. And when you said you saw them, you said there are people that look around 6 foot something, which they can look anywhere they want to look. Around 6'4", but they're taller than that. And they had leather outfits on, which I doubt that very much. And they look like a people that, if you ever looked at a people that look like they've never been conquered, these were those looks. And they look like so-called African Americans, which they're not. They're angels of the Lord, but they are big brothers, and they look like us. So that is why you're so worried. And here's a case where you try to engage them here again. This is back in some history now. 2 Maccabees 10 and 29 says, But when the battle waxed strong, right? This is Maccabees, man. Yeah, Maccabees means hammer. And he's our forefather, Maccabees. Yeah, a so-called black person, which we're not black people, but he was an Israelite, right? A warrior, and he had many necks of the enemies. So, but when the battle waxed strong, and there appeared unto the enemy from heaven 5 comely men upon horses with bridles of gold, and 2 of them led the Smilac people them. You people like to mess about with our channels too much, man. Giving one of my messy with my channels. Shalak Ryan be upon our wicked behind the scenes, trying to usurp the truth. There's nothing you can do against the truth, but only for the truth, right? So these were angels, right? Describes them. 5 comely men upon horses with bridles of gold, right, man? Angels dressed in gold, gold-looking garbs. They might even be the real thing. You understand? The gold that is real and off the chart. 30. And took Maccabees, bewaxed them, and covered him on every side. Right, protecting Maccabees, man. Yeah, on every side. They covered him, protected him on every side. Weapons, and kept him safe, but shot arrows and lightnings against the enemies. Yeah, you tried to shoot one of your stupid little toys, and that's what he just said. He said they've got weaponry, what they can do. Yeah, they can defy gravity, and makes us what we've got look like little toys. He said it out of his own mouth. And that's what I always call the weapons that you got. They're just toys to the Most High. That's all they are, toys. So, is it a wonder why you're so shook when you can see what they can do? But shot arrows and lightnings against the enemies. Yeah, they can take your weapons and use them against you, or they can just use lasers. Yeah, condensed fire, right, and use that against you. Or they can just shut down your at the moment they're just going easy with you. They're playing games with you. They're toying with you. The Most High sitting up in the heavens and laughing. That's why your helicopters and your planes are just keep falling out the sky. All he has to do is just shut off your mechanic system. It's just that simple. So you wanna mess with us? You're watching us, but there's someone much higher than you watching you. The angels of the Lord, right? Which are the eyes of the Lord, what you people call UFOs, right? But shot arrows and lightnings against the enemies, so that being confounded with blindness and full of trouble, they were kindled. That's what also happened with Elijah and Elisha, his servant, when the angels were up there watching, and Elisha said to Elijah, open your eyes and see that there is more than that is with us than that is with them. And what happened was the angels, all they did was just throw all the Assyrians into blindness. And that was the end of it. That was the end of the battle. That's all they needed to do. So in this case, so that being confounded with blindness, but shot arrows and lightning against the enemy, so that being confounded with blindness and full of trouble, they were deleted. And there was slain of footmen 20,500 and 600 horsemen. Just that simple. And you wanna toy around with them? You think you're gonna toy around with the Most High's angels, his military? That's what makes me know that you people are out of your mind. The soul that is lifted up inside you is not outright with you, right? Habakkuk 2 and 15. The soul that is lifted up inside you is not outright with you. That's all I wanted to bring out.
That after spending hundreds of billions of dollars for so many years and believing our airspace to be secure, in fact, we've had vehicles operating in restricted military.
Your hundreds and billions of dollars didn't help you to protect you from what's about to happen in the earth. So I'm going to let this play off, and I'm going to end off the video there. Giving all praises to Yah Bashim Yoshai, the word that Yah Bashim Yoshai have put on the spirit on me to do another video once again. And as we can see, the house of David is rising, and the angels are looking out for you, the elect. That's us. They're looking out for us, and they're scoping out the enemy's land. They're going to come back and they're going to retrieve. They're going to retrieve us, right? For all of us, keep praying, keep hoping, keep putting up the curses on the enemies. Don't forget that, and putting blessings upon the brotherhood. Shalom is on to the next.
To conclude is, first of all, we have a massive intelligence failure on our hands. This has been going on for years, and hundreds of incidents. Nobody in the Congress was informed. Senior officials in the Defense Department were not informed. The intelligence community did not take action to support our military personnel at sea in these carrier battle groups and other locations. So it's extremely disturbing to think that after spending hundreds of billions of dollars for so many years and believing our airspace to be secure, in fact, we've had vehicles operating in restricted military airspace with impunity on a recurring and sustained basis for many years.
Yeah, that's exactly what the pilots have been saying. You know, Congress is supposed to finally be briefed on UFOs next month. How much transparency how transparent should they be with that information? I mean, should Americans get full access to this?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these systems have multiple uses. And so if you disclose some of this information, you would compromise systems that are used in the defense to help detect and prevent nuclear warfare, for example, major strategic systems. So nobody wants to see any edge that we have in that area compromised because of the impact that could have on security. So the senators behind closed doors, of course, will get a lot more information. They'll get classified information. This report will also be produced at an unclassified level. And we should get a sense of whether there's a serious national security threat, how seriously we need to take this, how concerned should we be, and what the executive branch is going to do about it, and how they're going to organize to tackle this in the future, because they clearly have not been organized or looked at it cohesively in the past.
Do about it. These pilots on 60 Minutes last night described planes doing things that make ours look like toys. I mean, if what they're saying is true, and I have no reason to doubt them, what can we do?
Sure. So first of all, we can overcome our self-inflicted ignorance and start collecting data. And we're talking about multiple different kinds of things, so that what they talked about last night was the extreme case of the Tic Tac. Many of the other incidents are involving vehicles that are moving much more slowly, lower altitudes. They may more likely belong to a state actor, China or Russia. Different scenarios. So we may find a range of different issues to contend with.
Christopher Mellon, I'm out of time. I think.
All right, Shalom Makim. Yes, man, I'm going to entitle this video, Our Big Brothers, the so-called UFOs, the angels are coming back to collect. Our big brothers are coming back to collect. Shalom is on to the next one.